I played 12 hours of Dragon Ball Project Multi, so you don't have to. Well, 13 and a half, but 12 just sounded better in the title. Anyway, here is a quick review of the game. Is it any good? First things first, the gameplay. How do you play? How do you win? What can I compare it to? I would say it's a mix of League of Legends and Pokemon Unite, with its own little twist. Like most MOBAs, you take out the towers, which are god destructions in this case, and you take those out to get closer to the core, which is called a Dragon Shell. Now, once you destroy the Dragon Shell, a Dragon Ball comes out, and once you pick up that Dragon Ball, you win the game. So it sounds very simple in concept, and I'd say, yeah, it's pretty simple, but this is a MOBA. So there's a lot more than that. There's nuance. And like most MOBAs, there's two lanes, there's a bottom, and there's a top. The middle is pretty barren until later in the game. Before we get into craziness, let's talk about the god destructions first, the towers. So essentially, it's a checkpoint for the enemy team, or your team. It's a checkpoint throughout the game. If you beat it, you can move on to the next one, which is closer to the main objective, Dragon Shell. You gotta take out those towers to move on and move on and move on. And if it's your own god destruction, and let's say you're getting cornered, you're getting absolutely wrecked, your health is low. You go into the area of effect of your own god of destruction, and the attendant, or the angel, of the god of destruction will heal you, as long as you're within the area of effect, of course. And if an enemy gets into the area of your god of destruction, it'll push them out, do a little bit of damage. Now, the thing is, if Zeno is on there, and, well, they can attack it, you're vulnerable. I'll get more into that in a second. But yeah, essentially, do not go into the enemy's god of destruction if Zeno isn't there, because Zeno allows you to go outside the area of effect without the god of destruction attacking you. And while Zeno is there, the attendant, the angel, will no longer heal your enemies or you. So be careful, because everybody is more vulnerable when Zeno is at their tower, at their god of destruction. So keep that in mind. So you have a certain amount of time to deal damage with Zeno there. There's a countdown timer. It's going down. You only have a certain amount of time to do as much damage as you can. If you can destroy it, awesome. Now the gameplay changes once Zeno is in the enemy tower. So now you have to use your Gekishin skills to, well, destroy the tower. It changes your skills up a little bit. It still uses the same skill slots, but you have to use these skills, charge them up to deal damage to the tower. The problem here is sometimes you are in a battle with your opponent and you accidentally do those. So if you're gonna try to attack an enemy, try not to walk in there while Zeno is there, because you're probably gonna mess up. But here's the cool part. So you charge it, does a good burst of damage. Now if you do a max Gekishin burst, which is with your super, your ultimate, your spacebar button if you're on PC, it does a max Gekishin burst, which one, massive damage to the tower, but two, it gives everybody on your team a max HP boost. There's a lot of cool little things like that that you kind of got to learn and get into and understand. So awesome, man. And let's say you didn't kill him, you didn't get the god of destruction taken out, you are automatically pushed out of the area, so you can stay there even when the timer hits 0. Unlike most MOBAs, it'll actually just push you out of the area. Game is a little casual that way, which is pretty nice. But the thing is, Zeno shows up on both team sides, which gets a little hectic. You know, Zeno's on the top, Zeno's on the bottom. It's kind of cool too, because, you know, there are two Zenos if you know Dragon Ball lore, so it kind of made sense, you know? But the game could get pretty wacky, especially since we get cameos from Nappa, Android 16, Ribrianne, Jacko. So these characters show up on the field as bosses, and eliminating them by dealing the final hit. So yes, an enemy can steal it if they deal the final hit. It causes an effect to occur, such as damage to the enemy's god of destruction, or a debuff on the god of destruction, allowing you to do more damage. I'm not going to tell you what every mini boss does, but like I said, some bosses deal damage to the enemy tower, like Android 16. Some give you health per second, like Ribrianne. Now, if you get 3 bosses, you could change the tide of battle, especially if you're losing. So if you could get this bonus, it's very important, very cool. Instead of sending 1 Zeno, it sends 2 Zenos to a single tower, allowing you to destroy it very quickly. And if you take out a full top or bottom, it will swap to the next side. So if you're losing, sometimes I could just let you win. So keep that in mind, but use your brain about it, be smart about it. Don't try to take out the boss on your own and get absolutely mollywopped. Just do what you can, and if you could sneak it, you might be game savior. But remember, it's mobile at heart, so you get all that crazy stuff. And like I said, it gets pretty wacky with these cameos, because it's like, do I defend that cameo? Do I defend my god of destruction? Like, you gotta really have good positioning, good game sense. If you see somebody needs help, you go to them. I could go on and on and on. I don't want to talk too hard into the gameplay, because I'm just here to review the game and tell you how I feel about it. And again, it's a mobile at heart, but don't forget, it's also a Dragon Ball game. So you can play as the Dragon Ball heroes or villains, and well, as you play the game, you get more powerful, the character levels up, and it allows you to get abilities to, well, make them stronger. You get 3 regular abilities and an ultimate. and you get XP by eliminating NPCs on the map or enemy players. NPCs such as the bosses I mentioned before, or just the random guys throughout. So each character plays differently and has different role to fill. So we got damage, which, well, damages in the limbs, people. We got a tank, which is supposed to soak up damage, distract the enemy, live, don't die, you just don't want to die, and protect anybody who you can. The technical character, which is a mix of healers like Boo, who has a healing beam, and people who can debuff the enemy and such, like Krillin, who has Solar Flare. And something that's pretty neat is, as a Saiyan character or cooler, you can transform at level 7. Hopefully we get more of these. Something that's also very important to know is not only do you have these, abilities, each character has universal moves such as a dash, which essentially is like a flash from League, but you can use it a lot more frequently. And the recall function, which in a lot of MOBAs is really important because if you're at low health and you can't get to the God of Destruction, or you're just like so low to the point where you don't even want to risk like standing there and getting slow heals, you get your health immediately, but you also go back all the way back to the spawn. So it's helpful for that. And again, it also could be used, let's say your shell's broken and you want to protect it. Immediately recall all the way back and golden. And something that's pretty unique to Dragon Ball Multi is you have assist, you have partner characters, and it's assigned based on which role you have. For instance, as tank, I have Kaba, which gives me damage reduction, so I'm safe. And as a technical, I could have somebody like Goten, who's a turret, or farmer with a shotgun, who's also a turret. And as an attack character, you could have somebody like Botamo, who pushes the enemies away from you. Or King Furry. These things are really cool, and I gotta say, you gotta remember to use them, and use them wisely. I won't get into too many specifics as this is supposed to be a quick review, but if you want to get more in depth and have a guide, you let me know down below in the comments. I would gladly do one. And I played every character, and you know what? Some were definitely better than others. Some were good for me, some were probably better for other players. But I will say this, Zamasu and Krillin, absolutely my favorite. Super good in my opinion if you know how to use them properly. Second, I do want to talk about the UI though. It's because the UI is pretty simple to follow, looks neat. Goku even goes Super Saiyan when you start the queue, which is pretty cool.
The UI looks great. Now the issue I have is with Zenny. So you need memories and Zenny to upgrade something called the Star Collection. Star Collection is a good way to get cosmetics. In fact, you could get 5,000 Daima Goku memories in the Star Collection, which is a trap. Don't do it. I've seen so many people in a bigger drought because of this. But mainly, it's a way to get characters. And what does everybody want? Characters. It's all well and dandy when it comes to the memories, because you get those by playing matches. Every single match, you will get some memories. It's enough. In my opinion, it's enough. It's fine. But what you do not get is Zenny. And you need both Zenny and memories to upgrade your character, which in turn upgrades your Star Collection. And if you want characters, you're going to need Zenny. Insult to injury, in the shop, they have Zenny daily sometimes, but you could use it to buy memories. Now the problem is, if you don't have enough Zenny to upgrade, why would you buy the memories? There's that. And the thing is, like, you get the Zenny through Battle Pass rewards. Single day, you get a mission to get Battle Pass XP. It does not give you Zenny. So you have to wait for the missions to get Zenny. Even then, it's such a slow pace. It essentially makes it kind of like, why would I even play the game? It disincentivizes you playing a few hours a day or whatever, like as long as you want. It just play your games, then leave. So this is a bit worrying for player base. It's a bit worrying just as the game as a whole. It really wants to put money in it, because you could alternatively use the gems to upgrade versus the Zenny. And I get it's free to play, they need money, but that's a bit much in my opinion. You have the players, this is not a good way to keep them. So hopefully they could fix this. It is season 0, so this could just be a drought. Due to that, hopefully it's fixed up. We'll have to wait and see. This is an issue I have. Regardless, let's keep on going with the video.
And I gotta say, it was a lot of fun, solo and with a squad. Definitely more fun with a squad, with some homies. I just love the current map though right now. I don't want to be too hateful, because there's just tons of references on the map itself. Of course, there's the Cell Juniors by the Cell's Time Machine, and there's the Larvae shell, like right there. So that's pretty cool that they have stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, ooh, a little nod, like if you know, you know. So if we get more maps, I hope to get more references like that, because I'll be really happy if we get more references. And of course, I'd like more characters to play as. It's really fun. If you're a fan of MOBAs, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, if you're a fan of anime, go ahead and check that out, please.